The Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has dismissed the purported endorsement of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for a second time by the Rivers State Governor, Mr. Wike. The party's governorship candidate, Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran, who was our guest on the morning show yesterday, made it clear that he would defeat Sanwo-Olu and all his godfathers in Lagos in the 2023 governorship election. He went on to call out Sanwo-Olu for not doing a good job in the 4 years he has been governor of the state, saying that most projects he has commissioned are all works of his predecessor, Akinwumi Ambode. Joining us on this show this morning, right now, as we discuss what the Lagos State Governor has achieved in his time in office so far, is Gbenga Omotoso, Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yesterday we had Jandor here, as is known, candidate of the PDP. He said, your governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has not done anything. That if he has done anything, it's just to complete the projects of Governor Akinwumi Ambode. So you people have been moonlighting in that place. Although I saw Blue Rail, being test run the other day, what is happening to the team's agenda? Jandor says you guys are doing nothing and that you have to be out of that place by next year.
Well, thank you very much. I didn't watch that episode that you referred to, but I was told that Panadol, I told about Jandor, not Panadol, that he was here to say that Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, my principal, has done nothing in 3 years. I'm here to tell you that that is a very wrong assessment. Lagosians know that Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has done a lot. About 3 days ago, we commissioned 15 brand new schools and about 150 block classrooms in all of these, and 1,386 blocks, bed spaces for pupils. So if you look at the schools that we are commissioning, they are iconic schools. The Elemoros School is a 12 classroom school with modern facilities, touchscreen, blackboard, modern equipment all over the place, and then it's built, the first in West Africa, like I say, is built with what we call containers. And then that is the Vetland School in Agege, I was saying. Then the Elemoro School is an 18 classroom school with modern facilities, with a lab, with sick bay, with sporting facilities. The pitch is as good enough as the one that can be used by the Super Eagles. Then we have empowered 18,000 teachers, training them in how to use technology to teach in our schools. And then we have about 450,000 pupils who have been given tablets for them to be able to improve in their education. And we have renovated 243 libraries. We have 2 brand new universities. Our universities never went on strike when others are on strike. Today, everybody wants to come to Lagos State University, LASU. And then, like I said, those iconic schools in Elemoro, in Vetland, in Agege, they are schools that other states have been coming to look at. In the area of housing, we have done about 15 housing units. We have done housing units in Idale Badagry, in Sango-Tedo, in Ikorodu, Ibeshe, in Igbogbo, and Igando, and so many other places. And here on VI, we have done in Igbokushu, we have done in Ilupeju, we have done in Lekki. So anybody who is befuddled by his own problems and who is not seeing all of this, that is his own problem. In the area of health, of course, everybody knows what Lagos State government did when we had COVID-19. It was being said that in Nigeria, we are going to be picking bodies on the streets. And as you know, over 80% of the flights coming into Nigeria, because COVID-19 was imported, over 80% of flights coming into Nigeria, they come through Murtala Mohammed Airport. So we had the first incident of COVID-19 in Lagos, and it went on and went on. But because of the sagacity of Mr. Governor, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and then the combination of all the efforts of our team members, led by the Commissioner for Health and all our health workers, we stood firmly against COVID-19. And today, the story of how Lagos tackled COVID-19 is all over the world. It's being seen as an example of how it should be tackled. We are renovating all our general hospitals on Nave Road, in Ebute Meta, in Odon, Lagos here, and then in Isolo. We are building a new general hospital that has not been built in Lagos for decades. In Ojo, we are building a new general hospital. Very soon, we have a 500-bed hospital for mental health in K2 Ejiri. And then we are building a research center in Yaba. We are building hostels for our doctors, so that when they finish working, they can rest their heads. We are building it in Bagada. We are building it in Ikeja. So if you look at the area of health, on all the sectors of team's agenda, you will know that the Lagos State government has really done well. In terms of road, we have built 970 roads. The Lagos Public Works Corporation has renovated rehabilitated about 650 inner roads. We have 34 roads in Koshofe, in Shomolu, on VI, and then in Ikoyi, and then we are building 15 bridges. So most of them have been completed. We have done 6 roundabouts to East Gridlock on Allen Avenue, on Lekki Expressway, about the Lekki Roundabout 1, Lekki Roundabout 2. We have done all of them for traffic to be able to move in those areas.
Okay, so that we'll be touching all the sectors one by one. But amidst all of this, we still have over 2 million out-of-school children in Lagos. What has been done as regards that? That's number one. Number two, healthcare, concerning healthcare. A lot of people complain that along this Lekki axis, that you don't have a lot of government presence. Is there any general hospital around Etiosa, in and around this area? And what is being done as regards that, even primary healthcare center or general hospital?
Around Etiosa, we have done a lot about health. As I speak with you, you can go and check it out. There are about 15 primary healthcare centers in Etiosa. Then a brand new mother and child hospital has been built in Etiosa, and it's part of the hospitals that have been able to reduce infant mortality in Lagos. The Etiosa hospital was visited recently by Mr. Governor, and I was with him, and then we saw the operations, the doctors there, the way they were attending to people, and now people were commending them because it was not a scheduled visit. We went to some other place and we just decided to branch there and see what was going on. It's a hospital that we are very proud of, and as I've said, about 15 primary healthcare centers along that corridor, and then the mother and child hospital that we have built there. Then talking about
out-of-school children, over 2 million.
Out-of-school children, you say over 2 million. I do not know where that statistics is coming from, but I know that during I know that during COVID-19.
In fact, even there was a Lagos education exhibition. The statistics was repeated there. The Lagos state government, they had an exhibition, Eco-Excel and the likes, and the statistics were repeated there that they were fighting to tackle over 2 million out-of-school children in Lagos.
Yeah, I know that during COVID-19, we lost about 22,000 pupils in our schools who didn't return to school because of COVID-19, because of poverty or whatever. But I'm proud to say that today we have brought back 17,000 of them. They are there. So if they say there are 2 million pupils that are out of school, it's not because they don't have the facilities. It's not because Lagos State cannot provide them very good schools. As you can see, our schools are examples of what a good school should be. But we are trying through NGOs and through some of our agencies to encourage people to bring their kids back to school, those who are out of school, so that no kid is left behind. That is the thing that we are saying in Lagos.
Okay, Omotoso, 2 quick things. The first one, Governor Wike visited Lagos and endorsed Governor Sanwo-Olu. Okay? And yesterday, when we had Jando on this program, he said that doesn't matter at all. It should be dismissed. It should be discountenanced because it's of no effect. And that most people in Lagos, they are not even aware that Nyesom Wike was in Lagos. What's your response to that? And second, can you tell us about the Alaba International Market, which has been shut down? Some people are already giving it ethnic interpretation. What exactly happened, and why did the state government decide to shut down Alaba International?
Well, if Governor Nyesom Wike, a lawyer, a frontline politician, has come to Lagos, and somebody who is seen as a performer in his state, to say that if you do not belong to my party and you are doing well and you invite me, I will come. If you belong to my party and you are not doing well and you invite me, I won't come. If the man has gone to Lagos to endorse Governor Sanwo-Olu, and some people on the other side feel that it's out of place, it has no effect, I think they are just, psychologically traumatized by that. And I feel that Governor Wike, he is feeling it. He has seen it. He has heard it about all of the things that Mr. Sanwo-Olu is doing. Do you want to talk about the railways that is coming, the blue line and the red line? These are, iconic projects that Mr. Sanwo-Olu is doing. Do you want to talk about endorsement from all over the world, even outside Nigeria, about what he has done in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education, in terms of health? So if Mr. Wike, in his wisdom, is endorsing Mr. Sanwo-Olu and saying that if you are contesting against him, it's like hitting your head against the rock. And some people are feeling that they should go and take Panadol for that. I mean, they are free to so do. But all I can say is that Mr. Sanwo-Olu will continue to do well. It's not only the endorsement of Mr. Wike that he will get. He will still get so many others. Everybody who is asked one thing or the other to do in Lagos will be seeing this. And as regards Alaba market, all of these things, they occur in a small way, and then they blow up, or people help them to blow up. What happened in Alaba simply is just a quarrel between two people, and then it escalated. And because the owners of the market didn't want it to escalate beyond the level that it got to, they now shut down the market. It has nothing to do with the state government. It has nothing to do with politics at all. Alaba market is a place where Mr. Sanwo-Olu, the governor, is very popular. Alaba market is a place where Igbo traders in Lagos dominate, and they are people who love Mr. Sanwo-Olu, because around that area, the Ojo Alaba road is being, Bubamarwa road is being rebuilt, and everything that they need in that area, Mr. Sanwo-Olu is doing for them. We are building a new general hospital in that area, so they have no reason for them to be afraid of whatever the governor is doing, or the governor or government of Lagos has any reason to be afraid of whatever is going on in Alaba market. It's just the kind of thing that happens in all markets all over the place. You have two people. A market is a place where you have a flood of people every day. So if there's a quarrel between two people, people should not read political or ethnic meanings into it. We are more civilized like that. All of us are Lagosians.
Okay. So two things. Another thing is that Jandor talked about was the cost of rail. And he said after 16 years that the project has dragged on for quite a while. And he talked about that. And he said, what rail? Because Dr. Abati specifically asked him, he said, what rail? After 16 years, that they've even shut in the route and things like that. I want you to expatiate more on that. Another argument a lot of people make is that Lagos has a debt about close to 800 billion now as we speak. And they look at it and say, for matching for the infrastructure we have and the level of debt we have taken, that is not justifiable. So explain.
Well, if Mr. I almost said Parador again. If Mr. Jandor is saying, if Mr. Jandor is saying that, what race? There is a Yoruba proverb that says that in the presence of your enemy, no matter how good a hunter you are, you cannot kill a big game. If we say, look at the small rat he has killed and is calling it an elephant. Well, we are proud to say that the blue line, for example, is the only rail line in Africa that has been built over water. It's the only line in West Africa that is going to be running on its own electricity without using public electricity. It has its own electricity on which it's going to be run. I mean, if it's going on for 16 years, all of us know what has happened. Even before that, our Lagos State government wanted to build his own metro line, and then the powers that be at that time wouldn't allow that. We are responsible government, we are accountable. Whatever it thinks is the cost of the projects, he should come out and say so. But Lagosians, they don't even bloody care about how you want to bring them dividends of democracy. All they care about is that they know that the blue line, the red line are coming to resolve a lot of problems that we have commuting around Lagos. Because the blue line, for example, is going to be carrying 500,000 passengers per day. It's going to shorten the journey between Marina to Mile 2 to something about 2 hours now to like 25 minutes. The red line is going to be taking people from Oyingbo all the way down to Agbado. It's now a very painful journey of about 4 hours. It's going to be for 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 25 minutes at most. So Lagosians are looking at the good picture. They are looking at the bright future. And they are looking at the greater Lagos that Mr. Sanwo-Olu has promised. So if anybody wants to criticize this kind of project, it has to be on technical term. It has to be on intelligence level, not the kind of thing that you just make a statement and begin to talk about cost that you don't understand. The books are open. Nigerian banks are the ones that are sponsoring this project, that are backing us through the federal government. So if anybody again is talking about the debt of Lagos, our debt to GDP ratio, I think is okay, because there is a threshold that the central bank and the World Bank that they have set for debt. For Lagos, for example, we have a limit of about 30% of our GDP, and we have not even done about 15%. So Lagos has the capacity, and every day we have a creative government that is headed by Mr. Sanwo-Olu, who himself is not an illiterate financially, who himself has been a banker before, who himself has been in government before, and then we have a team of finance experts who are in the government, the commissioner for budget and planning, the commissioner for finance. These are guys who have made it. They have made their names in the business world and in the finance world. So everything that we are doing about our debt is not anything that can cause a problem for Lagos State in future. And that is why recently, when we had the 100 billion naira bond, it was oversubscribed. And then when we cut the bond, it was, resolved without any problem. Very soon, Lagos State government will even be going to the market to take another bond, and it's going to be oversubscribed.
Commissioner, that's how Yorubas call commissioner. Commissioner. Lagos State government, yes, has done some roads, some projects. But many of those roads are impassable because of flood. Our friend Joe Igbokwe, the one that is in charge of gutter and drainage.
Stop saying that, Dr.
And
drainage.
Tuji Bello, the commissioner for environment. They have advised that, okay, there's flood this season. People in Agilinti, in low-lying plains, in Okokomaiko, in some other areas, including Owode Onirin, should move upland. What is the Lagos State government doing to address the challenge of floods, which has become a major issue in Nigeria today?
Well, first let me say that anytime a flood is being discussed, I expect people to give kudos to the administration of Mr. Sanwo-Olu, because as I speak with you now, the capital city of Kogi is impassable. It's been drenched. It's been submerged. Anambra, Taraba, Bayelsa, NNAG has even caused a force majeure. It can no longer meet its obligations, all because of flooding. In Pakistan, people are dying in hundreds. In Florida, the flood problem is a very big headache. And in so many other places all over the world, all because of climate change. But here in Lagos, I make bold to say that maybe the notice that you saw that people should move, that was what we said over a month ago, when the weatherman said Lagos was going to experience more rains. So we had to advise people to move, because we ain't be saying that there was going to be flooding. But obviously today, the people are still there and their homes are not flooded. Lagos is we have about 8 rivers discharging into Lagos: River Ogun, River Osun, River Olu, and all of them, they are discharging into Lagos. And anytime the volume of water goes up in the lagoon, there is flooding, or they release water from River Ogun or River Osun, there is flooding. But what you can see now is that the kind of flooding that they are experiencing in other places that is killing people, we are not experiencing in Lagos. All because we have invested in cleaning all our big drainage channels, in cleaning all of our drains. We have about 222 secondary channels. All of them have been cleaned, because we envisage that this year the rains could be much. So instead of people to be talking about Lagos State government asking people to take precautionary measures, which is what any responsible government should be doing, we should be getting kudos that people are not, their homes are not sinking, that they can still drive on roads. Anytime it's flooded in Lagos after hours of rain pounding the metropolis, what you see is that it's just flash flood, because after about 1 hour, 2 hours, just relax, calm down, you see that the water will disappear, because there is a drainage system that is working. There is a drainage system in which we have invested so much money. It's the kind of thing that government puts money into that you don't see. But around this time, when it's raining and rains are pounding the country all over the place, you see that Lagos is secure, Lagos is safe, and Lagos is not floating, despite the fact that Lagos is about 2.24% under below sea level. And the Atlantic Ocean is here, around us. The lagoon is there. Even in some parts of Lagos Island there, where we experienced flooding a few months ago, today we have a pumping machine there. We have devised a way to pump the water directly into the lagoon, so that those properties there will not be affected. And the people are happy for it. So I expect kudos from any discerning person who is studying the environment about what we have done, if you consider what is going on in the whole world as an effect of the climate change that all of us are talking about, and then maybe where people have not taken precautions about what to do about flooding. But I thank God our own government is not like that. Early in the year, we started cleaning the drains. We started putting the drainage system together, and we have a gang of people who go around anytime it's raining. They ensure that the water flows, and that those drains, immediately they are removing all of the things covering them and ensuring that right in the rain that they flow. All you need to help us to do is to beg Lagosians who still feel that when it's raining, they have to go and pour refuse in the gutters. This is an uncivilized action that our people should not be doing.
Okay, real quickly, you said you've built a lot of houses, you've done a lot as regards housing, but according to Renaissance Capital, you can go check this data. It says 23 million population, 1.49 million residential units, 4.9 million household size, 4.6 million houses needed, 3.2 million housing deficit in Lagos. How do we fill the 3.2 million house deficit in Lagos? And another thing, a lot of people complain that most of the government-built houses, they are difficult to get, that mostly it's public officials that buy most of them and they resell. Is that true? And how can people get these houses? And this 3.2 million housing deficit in Lagos?
Yeah, the housing deficit, I won't say it's not real. It may be more than that. Because Lagos, ideas say, is a victim of its own success. Today, Lagos is the only state where you don't have terrible insecurity problems. Today, Lagos State is the only state where people see as a state that is flowing with milk and honey, as a state that is their own Canaan land that they have to come to for them to be able to make it. So every day you have about 6,000 people coming to Lagos per hour. And, taking records of these people is such a difficult thing. And that is why we are telling them to come and say, if you want to stay in Lagos for 3 months, come and take Lagos State resident card, so that we'll be able to account for you, so that all these figures, all the data we are throwing around about housing deficits, about out of school pupils, we'll be able to have a central data that is reliable, that is credible. Now, I think the private sector is doing a lot in collaboration with state government. Very soon, we are going to be seeing private sector people coming into Lagos to join in the struggle to house everybody by building skyscrapers. Lagos is the tiniest state in Nigeria, and yet it has a population of about 25 million people. Housing 25 million people by any standards is no joke. Lagos is the 6th largest city, growing city in the world. So there is a master plan for us to be able to house people in Lagos. And then talking about the 16 housing projects that we have done, it's very simple. About 20% of these houses, public servants, civil servants, workers, they are the ones who have been allocated this, because they are the people that people feel that they may not be able to get the kind of money that they will plunk down immediately and be able to get a house. But once they have a system given to workers, especially civil servants, on how to pay instrumentally, so 20% of such housing stocks are given to them. But how can people get? It's very simple. If you go to the Ministry of Housing and collect the form, you fill it. There's always a long queue. But people are sure that the people who come, first served, they get the houses. I too have been able to understand the way it works, because I had to intercede for people.
How does it work?
That's what I'm saying. They showed me a long list of applicants, and one of the guys that I took there, I saw his name, it was in the hundreds, that it wouldn't get to his turn until maybe a year later. And the guy saw everything, and he said it was okay. And there have been testimonies of people who say they don't even know anybody in government, and then they got this allocation. Among them are journalists who have come to say thank you to me, and I said I knew nothing about it. They got allocations and then they paid. I remember one who said he was not going to be able to pay once. I should please come and put in a word for him. And I told him, well, if you can't pay once, there's a way you can write to them that you can't pay once. So all of the things that people are saying about the houses are supposed to be for the masses, only big people are getting them, only government people are getting them, they are just mere, unfounded allegations and speculations and, projections that are not, real. So I feel that anybody who wants to participate in Lagos State Government housing scheme should just go and get the form. Go online, you see how everything is done.
What's the website? So that people that want to get
just say Lagos State housing scheme. You will see it there. Okay. Lagos Homes.
Two things. Number one, when is Governor Sanwo-Olu going to sit down and concentrate on his assignment as governor and stop following Tinubu around? Because it's like everywhere Tinubu goes, you see the governor of Lagos and all that. He too is running for election. Can he just concentrate on his own mission? That's one. Two, what's the update on the Fourth Mainland Bridge and the Lekki Airport? Because I think we discussed Lekki Airport as part of a Engbeti summit. Sometime this week, or was it last week? What's the update on that? And we're saying, transportation is one of the major themes in Sanwo-Olu's summit. And can he just sit down and focus on his own business instead of following Tinubu all over the place?
Well, anybody who thinks that Mr. Baide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, is busy following Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu all around and he's not sitting down to do his job, is just, I think, indulging in beer parlor talk. Because Mr. Sanwo-Olu is somebody who has put a system in place that if he doesn't show up anywhere, he told all of us when he was hearing us in, that in your own right, you are Mr. Governor. As I'm sitting down here now, I am representing Mr. Sanwo-Olu. That is why I have to mind all the figures and the data that I dish out and everything that I say here. So anybody we have a team of very competent people, some of the best ideas say in Nigeria, who can, as many of us as possible, can be governor. So if Mr. Sanwo-Olu travels to Abuja to see Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is like a father to him, I do not see why that one should cause anybody any headache. And I do not see how that one can be seen as a hindrance to his performance of his duties. Because despite all of the things that they are talking about, Mr. Sanwo-Olu has come out tops. He has been seen here in Nigeria as a performing governor. He has been seen overseas as a performing governor. He's the only governor that I know that I've seen that you go overseas and you recognize him on the street of New York. You recognize him on the street of London. So I feel that anybody who feels that is following Mr. Asiwaju Tinubu around, it's not being fair to him. This is the season of politics. Whatever he needs to do to assist Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he can do it. That does not mean work will stop in Lagos, because we have a system in place that is working, that has been tested, that is credible, and that is, the kind of machinery you can press to service in seconds, and then you won't have any regret at all.
All right.
Well, I asked you another question about Fourth Mainland Bridge.
Yeah, the Fourth Mainland Bridge,
airport.
I'm happy to say, is getting to the conclusion stage. We invited contractors to come and bid. I think about 35 or so of them we just need to get the contract. But I'm happy to tell you today that the Lagos State government has been able to identify, I think about a month ago, we narrowed it down to 3 contractors who have the muscle, who have the competence, who have the technical know-how to handle that kind of project. The Fourth Mainland Bridge is going to be coming from Ibrahim Adesanya all the way to Ikorodu, and it will be busting out around Lagos Ibadan Expressway. It's like a circular road around the state. So I think the contractor has been identified, and by the end of this year, in December, we are going to do the groundbreaking ceremony. So it's a dream. It's one of the projects that is dear to the heart of Mr. Governor, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and is going to be done through public-private practice. The Lekki airport that you are talking about is one of the fruits of the just concluded Enyigbeti Summit. It's one of the things for us to show that Enyigbeti is not a talk shop, but it's a place that we come to bring experts together to come and tell us what to do to be able to develop Lagos, to take Lagos to that greater Lagos that we are talking about. So the airport is going to be around Lekki, is going to be on a land of about 3,500 hectares, and then it's going to be costing around $900 million, and it's going to be done with a public and private partnership, and then it's going to be about 10 kilometers away from what we know as Lekki Free Trade Zone now, and it's going to be moving like about taking pressure away from Murtala Mohammed airport. And then the right thing to do is for us to have an airport in that place, because it's the fastest growing industrial and commercial estate corridor in Africa. About 40 companies are already operating at the Lekki Free Trade Zone. The Dangote refinery will soon start there. The Dangote fertilizer plant has started there. The Lekki deep sea port, any moment from now, will start. So it is only wise for us to plan an airport for that place, and it's a project that we are going to do because it's very dear to our heart, to take pressure away from the Murtala Mohammed airport.
Real quickly, a lot of people are saying that most of this your building contracts you give amongst people that are close to yourself. In fact, somebody said they recently got a judgment against you to build 3,000 units, housing units, that you went to court, that most of the projects are in court. So we'd like to have your take on that. That's one. Number 2, we hardly see pipe-borne water, because there's a big water challenge. Even in Lekki, when people dig boreholes and some other areas, it's bad water that comes out. And money for treating water alone is a big problem. So when is the public water works going to hold sway in parts of Lagos? And as we wrap up, what happened yesterday, 2 years on with NSAS? A lot of people said there shouldn't have been that incident of police shooting tear gas. Arise TV's driver was injured yesterday again, just like last year. When are we going to stop all this? And when is the state government going to implement that report by the Judicial Panel of Inquiry?
First, talking about water, I agree with you that we have a problem about water, but I also assure you that it's not a problem that we are not tackling. We are tackling it, and by the time the Gaussians see the result, they will be very happy. Very recently, we paid a compensation to people who are on the right-of way for the Adiyan water works that is going to be supplying 70,000 gallons per day. They are in Ogun State. There are some communities who said that we don't want to be paid for our property that be destroyed because of this project. All we want is give us water. So we are considering them there. So by the time that project is concluded.
When is it going to be concluded?
I can't say now because it's been on for long. All because of this, huge funding, which was not quite taken care of in the past, but which Mr. Sanwo-Olu has said is going to tackle. As I speak with you now, we have a Lagos State Executive Council committee headed by the Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, and which is talking specifically about this water issue. So we are tackling it because we know that there's a problem there. It's not even, good for people who live in the kind of place that we have in Lagos, considering our landscape, to be building boreholes all over the place. Because in future, it may have a negative effect. So the government is also working on the fact that we do not want any unpleasant thing to happen in Lagos. So the water problem is very dear to our heart, and we are clearing it. And then I think the other question about
the housing projects
that they are not.
There are cases in court and all of that and things like that. Some people just want injunction about this housing scheme you're building.
Yeah, the question to us is that when you look at those houses, if you look at their pictures, you see that they are very beautiful edifices. They are, the kind of houses that Lagosians should stay in. Very comfortable, very mobile, with beautiful gardens around them. So that means the contractors who get these jobs, they are doing a very good job. So if any contractor is bidding and is not being given the job, and he goes to court, it is within his right to so do. But for them to say the job is being given to people they know, I have seen contractors who have come to me to say that they lost out in one contract because they felt they did. And, all of these big contracts, I'm always sitting at Tesco. We argue over them, who should get what. So the first thing is competence. Before you consider any other thing, what is it that you have done before? Have you built this kind of houses before? Then there are some that has done with private-public partnership. We have to go and check the banks. Are you able to pay your own aspect of it? So people will not tell you the full story. They will just rush to court to say they were not giving contracts. So I feel in that wise they are not being fair to the state government. And then talking about what happened yesterday, Lagos State government, IDRC has done a lot about NSAS. We are people who cherish freedom of speech, who cherish the rights of people to protest whenever they want to protest. But all Lagosians, they also have rights. We are all brothers and sisters. Yesterday, when I saw that scene on television, Arise was the first to carry that the police fired tear gas, and that Arise reporter was harassed. But I saw on the same program on television a few minutes Oba coming on board to say that he wasn't harassed. In fact, he was looking very spick and span, clean. Somebody harassed, that looked like that. And he said so that he wasn't harassed, and that the police just said he should move, and that the matter was settled. And then when I asked the police, because I did my own investigation, why tear gas? This guy said you are going to be moving from 9 to 11, and after that you are going to be go into a place for a seminar to discuss how far with the NSAS problem. Why did you fire tear gas? And the police said they want them not to block the road. That there is no way they will allow anybody to block the road. There are two things. Don't harass others, don't block the road. And then don't harass policemen. As that they use a coffin to block the road. And they asked them to move, they refused to move. And they started gathering. And that was why they fired tear gas.
No, Undenye has already explained that. Your right ends where another man's right begins. We have no problem with that. Law and order, preventing breakdown of public order.
You recall at the panel that Lagos State government paid over 400 million to victims of police brutality. And I know that NSAS victims, like I said, they are all our sons and daughters, they are all our brothers. I know that officials of Lagos State government, including Mr. Governor, we've shown them the human side of...
For the full implementation of all the reports, when is it going to be done?
All the reports, the ones that concern Lagos State government, we have done. Take, for example, a few days ago, we opened the Peace Park to show that this Peace Park, opening it in the month of October, when, I would like to say, havoc, war, terror came to Lagos because of all the things that happened. People died in so many parts of Lagos. And we now did that park in memorial to all of the people asking for peace. Are you going to memorialize the toll gate? Toll gate is a very controversial matter. It depends on how you look at it. Say, for example, people are saying all manner of things there. It remains as controversial as ever, and I wouldn't want to go into that. So like I said, we paid compensation as stated by the panel. Lagos State paid the highest, over 400 million. Then we built that Peace Park, and then the Rights Commission that the panel said we should do. As I speak with you, the bill is in the House of Assembly. It's going to be considered by the House of Assembly, and as soon as it comes back, Mr. Governor, Mr. Sanwo-Olu is going to sign it. So I feel that all of the things that they have asked us to do, you should polish police, you should punish military people. Lagos State government has no such powers, and we have referred such suggestions and recommendations to the federal government.
Commissioner, one more thing, very briefly, because we're running out of time. Okay, you've talked about Governor Sanwo-Olu's achievements. Are there certain areas in that team's agenda, in your own estimation, I'm not asking you to assess your boss, that he's likely to focus more upon as he seeks a second term?
Well, Mr. Sanwo-Olu does not mince words when he's talking about what he's going to do, what the target of his administration is. He said he's going to be focusing on health and education, believing that with education you can liberate a society, believing that health, that our people deserve to be catered for, they should have the best of facilities in terms of health. So I believe that in coming around, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, by God's grace, is going to get a second term. We focus on health and education, but there are then some iconic projects that we are bound to finish. The blue line and the red line, we will conclude by the end of this year by the grace of God. And by the first quarter of next year, they will begin passenger operations. The Mercy Street Hospital is there. Mr. Sanwo-Olu would like to complete it. It's going to be the biggest pediatric hospital in Africa when it's concluded. The Lekki-Epe Expressway is over 90% completed. We have Obase-Kumade Road in Ikorodu. It's been known for about 7 years. We would like to conclude that. We have Agric-Ishawa Road. We have Bola Tinubu Igbogbo Road. All of this we would like to complete. We would like to build a research center in Yaba, so that when we have a problem like COVID-19, we will not be running to the west for fasting. We would like to open very soon the 500-bed mental health center in K2 Ejiri. We are building a food hub in K2 Erunyan. We would like to complete that. So there are so many things that Mr. Sanwo-Olu has planned that is executing, that we would like to finish executing to the joy of all Lagosians.
Okay, thank you very much. Gbenga Omotoso, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Lagos State.